Hey, are you familiar with the Jehovah's Witness group?
Yeah, I am a Jehovah's Witness. Are you new?
God! Ah! That's for Jessica!
Oh, Christ on a cracker!
What's up, mother? My name is Zach, and welcome to another episode of Zach Makes Movies, the channel where we talk about...
You guessed it, Frank Stallone.
So today I want to talk about a movie I made in 2013 called Who Dates in College? Who Dates in College stars Zack Turnquist, Brett Wyman, and Dean Bart-Plange. It's a college comedy inspired by projects like American Pie and Blue Mountain State. Initially, I wrote it as a feature that would be a vehicle for my roommate, myself, and our friend.
Name and address withheld.
But that fell apart after he was deported. The year was 2013. I was looking for my next short film idea. I decided to try and repackage Who Dates in College into a short. It was kind of tough trying to speed up the story. I basically cut out all the rom-com shit and just left the pure college comedy. It didn't have the heart or the pathos, but still had the jizz jokes, and that was enough for me. So this was year 2 of film school. The previous year I put out A Little Bit Crazy, which I also shrunk down from a feature. I talk more about that in my first 5 scripts video. But this was year 2. I'd already done a bunch of 16mm shorts, a Batman parody, and a slasher. Now I wanted to try my hand at college humor. Our directing professor at the time was a guy named
Name and address withheld.
who'd been an assistant director on the A-Team series, starring that guy from Rocky.
You guessed it, Frank Stallone.
He was a good teacher, a bit of a hard ass. Definitely not my key demographic. Nor were my extremely geographically diverse classmates, for whom many of which English was a second language. So you can imagine how my aggressively American jokes translated in the table read. I have a vivid memory of sitting there watching my dialogue get absolutely butchered, and love them to death. Some, I assume, are good people, but it wasn't exactly a stellar performance. Then the script ends and our professor looks at me and goes, "Did you hear any laughs?" So I punch up the script, I start casting. We probably saw 300 people auditioning for the roles of Alex, Jake, Eli, Jessica, and Alexis. And I cast the rest of the characters with other actors I liked but felt worked better in different roles. So casting for the 3 main guys was a long process, but I could not have been happier with the final selection. In the role of Alex, we went with a talented actor named Zack Turnquist, whose first name was only surpassed in greatness by his acting abilities. Zack was so good at playing the straight man, playing off the insane energy of the other 2 guys. Eli was a little tougher to cast since we were playing with accents. Initially, he was going to be a Londoner, but we auditioned an actor named Dean Bart-Plange, and he did such a great job I asked him what accent he could do best, and he said Nigerian, and we found our Eli. And last but not least came Brett Wyman. He had the exact look and energy I was going for in the script. His performance was absolutely spot on, beat after beat. And then he clinched it. There's a line in the script where Jake says, "potato, potato." But I wanted him to say, "potato, potato." And every single actor, one after the next, even if they nailed the audition otherwise, said, "potato, potato." But not my boy Brett.
It worked!
The sap. See, you punched a guy in the face and we got lucky.
Potato, potato.
Check out the big brain on Brad. You're a smart motherfucker, that's right.
And there it was. So to round out the cast, we hired the wonderful Dayan Hutton, who we also later cast my next short, Dark Side of the Moon. She's gone on to do a bunch of cool projects. And we also cast the hilarious Cassie Jerkins, who came up with some of my favorite lines in the movie, such as...
It's college. You don't have to pass college.
So I just picked the ball up, and I'm running down the field. I got like 25 minutes.
25? That's like a class of kindergartners.
So the total budget for the short was about $500, which was mostly spent on props and meals for the cast and crew. I wanted to film a section of the project in a diner, so I walked into the local Jerry's Deli and asked if I could do just that. For some bizarre reason I don't understand, they agreed to let us film in their restaurant, and we set up in a corner booth to shoot on the day.
Look at this. Alone, we are weak. But together, what's the one thing we have that girls don't have? Penises. Yes. But I was thinking more along the lines of brotherhood.
I don't know. I think I would have said penises.
Yeah, I would have said penises.
Yeah.
Not penises! God damn it!
So another thing that's important on a film set is feeding your cast and crew. If you don't feed your cast and crew, they will kill you. So that's the main reason to do that. It's a safety concern. People need to be fed, so you definitely want to figure out a way that you can feed people a meal that is not going to break the budget, but more importantly than that, yes, more importantly, you don't want your crew to be sluggish. So if you save a bunch of money on food, great. You got everyone pizza, fantastic. But guess what? Now everyone's gonna fall the fuck asleep.
Alan!
Everything slows to a halt. Don't feed your cast pizza every day. You can do it for one meal, ideally. One thing that we would often do is we would go to Costco. We'd spend probably $100 on craft services. That's snacks, that's, fruit, vegetables, power bars, anything that can be eaten quickly on set that's energizing and will keep your crew and cast happy for a potential 12-hour day on set. But a couple of times we went and bought one of those massive family-sized lasagnas, and I just had my producer in the kitchen cooking while we were filming, and that saved us probably $150. And again, you can't do that for every meal. You gotta feed people something healthy, some sort of a chicken dish. What we would often do is do like a cheap day like that, a nice, cheap lasagna for everybody. But then the next day, maybe you cater, spend a little extra money to have a good, healthy meal for everybody that re-energizes the set and reminds everyone that you actually give a fuck about them. And it goes a long way. It's kind of unbelievable what a difference it makes. So spend the extra money on food, and your cast and crew will thank you. When your cast and crew knows that you appreciate them, they're willing to work a lot harder. Echo! At that point, we're all figuring out our crew positions. We're switching off on, lights, sound, cinematography from set to set. And on this particular shoot, my buddy Juan was covering sound. Unfortunately, there were two problems. The restaurant was completely packed.
Guys, packed!
And Juan was new to the technology. For the 5-hour shoot, as we recorded the majority of our dialogue, Juan was carefully adjusting levels like a safe cracker, listening in on headphones to make certain the audio neither spiked nor softened. We wrapped the shoot, and a week later I jumped into the edit, only to find that all, as in 100% of the audio we recorded in the diner scenes, was recorded at the exact same, way too low level. And then it hit me. Juan wasn't adjusting the levels on the machine. He was adjusting the volume on his headphones. So we all had a good laugh and moved on to the last section of the shoot. The party scene. So the most important part of shooting a party scene is the people. No matter what else is going on at that party, no matter how many lights, no matter how many decorations, the only thing that sells it is the people. I'd done a party scene before for my Batman parody short, It Begins, so I had a little bit of experience faking a party. Now, the trick to faking a party is you don't. We basically tricked everyone we knew into thinking we were throwing a party at my friend Steve's house, just forced handfuls of them into the background of every shot. And I mean every single shot. The party scene went well and we wrapped the shoot, and I spent the next 3 months editing every hour of my free time. I figured out that if I brought the audio levels up to 12 and multiplied them about a dozen times, it wasn't so bad, but I had to spend like a month cleaning that up alone. But ultimately, it was a good lesson in both the importance of hiring a professional audio engineer and fixing levels in the edit, which I was able to put into practice while editing the final cut of my upcoming debut feature, Questions. I put out a 15-minute version of Who Dates in College in 2013 that we ended up screening at Warner Brothers, which is pretty dope. Then a few years later, I went back and did another cut, removing copyrighted music and trimming it down to about 8 minutes. And that's a version you'll see on the channel today. Anyway, that's enough for me. Hope you enjoyed this trip down memory lane. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to see a full director's commentary of Who Dates in College, and I'll get to it when I feel like it. Jesus Christ, get off my back. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more. And remember, it's not a lie if you believe it.
So, your parents must be retarded. She's a really special girl.